Hey guys, my name is Hema, I'm 34, and I've decided to freeze my eggs. So a few people have asked why I've decided to go on this journey, so I thought I would share. When I was in my 20s, it just wasn't something that was a priority to me. I was focused on education and career, and I started my last relationship when I was 30, so I was never in a rush. But I always did have it in the back of my mind that when I turned 35, it's something I would seriously consider because women always do hear at 35 your fertility sharply declines. So now I'm 34 and I'm single, and I came to visit my sister who's a reproductive endocrinologist here in Houston, and she suggested that I get my AMH test, which assesses the ovarian reserve. And I got the test results and they came back lower than expected. They were 1.59 and I was hoping for something closer to 3. So then I thought about it. I'm like, why am I waiting until I'm 35? Like, let's just go ahead and do this now. So what initially held me back from doing it earlier was always the cost. It just is a lot of money for something that has no guarantees, and when you're in your 20s, you're just trying to pay your rent, you're trying to pay your student loans, you're making the least amount of money you've ever made. So it just was not something I could do at that time. And then with the no guarantees, it's like, you get so many mature eggs, but I do know that it's no guarantee of the quality of those eggs or if the eggs would make it past every stage of IVF. So it was just a lot of money for me when there wasn't a lot of guarantees or there's just no promises. And also I was not eager to do the injections. It just seemed a lot. It seemed intense. But I changed my mind primarily because of my age, because I'm 34, and I just didn't want to have that pressure that women have to, start a family soon, otherwise you're never going to have that chance. It's just, it's something that lessens that pressure, allows me to find the right man to start a family with, not do it out of desperation, and helps me to know that, I did everything I could to have no regrets and peace of mind, that, if I were to want to have a family someday, I have these stored somewhere for me, and hopefully they work. And then last was also the cost. I kind of found in my 20s that I was pretty good at budgeting. I was able to pay off my student loans. I was able to put a 20% down payment on my home. I'm able to travel wherever I want to go once a year. So why wasn't I saving up the money for family planning? So here I am, now freezing my eggs, and I hope you guys follow me through my journey, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. So once the results of my preliminary blood test came in, it showed that my estrogen and my LH labs were suppressed, most likely due to birth control. So I made a plan with my fertility doctor to go off birth control until my next natural cycle, which would be about 4 weeks. And then I would go back on birth control for 2 weeks right before I start stimulation because it helps the follicles grow at the same rate. So we had a 6-week plan. So now that I have 6 weeks before I start stimulation, I of course spent that time reading anything I could on egg freezing. In my mind, I can only afford to do this once, so I want to spend these next 6 weeks doing whatever I can to help me get the most number of eggs and the best quality eggs. So one thing I read about was the Mediterranean diet and how it can help improve success rates for IVF. So I decided to have my diet be more the Mediterranean diet, which is fruits, vegetables, fish, poultry, beans, healthy fats. I avoided highly processed foods and sugar and alcohol. Sugar was probably the hardest for me. My doctor also recommended that I take some vitamins, so I was on CoQ10, DHEA, prenatal vitamins, calcium, and vitamin D for 6 weeks. I also read about acupuncture and how it can help enhance a woman's fertility. So after 6 weeks of no birth control, healthy diet, vitamins, and acupuncture, my follicle count went from 13 to 19. Now this can just be because of the birth control, it could be for a number of reasons, we don't know. But I was just excited to see that my follicle count went up and had the peace of mind that I was doing everything I can to make sure these are the healthiest eggs possible. And finally, a week or two before I start stimulation, I have a consultation with my nurse to go over the stimulation schedule, the medications, the dosage, the suggested pharmacies, how to watch injection training videos, what to expect or plan for before, during, and after stimulation, and signing consent forms. We do a lot of things. After the consultation, though, I spent most of my time deciding where I wanted to order medications. So here are a few tips on saving on medications. Tip number 1 is to take the time to compare costs. I created an Excel spreadsheet and I reached out to 9 different mail-in pharmacies and put all the price quotes in that spreadsheet and picked the ones with the best deals. All of them have free shipping, so to me it didn't matter if I got all of my medications from one or got them from 3 different places. It saves me more money by going to 3 different places. Tip number 2 is to ask your fertility clinic about substitutions. So a couple of the medications have substitutions, so I asked about it and they included it on my prescription, and I was able to include it in when I was comparing prices. And for example, one of the substitutions that I asked about ended up being half the cost of the original medication that I was prescribed. So it definitely helped me out to ask for that substitution. Tip number 3 is to sign up for discount programs like Compassionate Care or Reunite Assist. They give you rebates or a percentage discount based on your household income. And tip number 4 is to use your FSA or HSA account if you have one or if possible. My FSA covers infertility treatment, medications, short-term egg storage, usually around 12 months, I believe. It covered acupuncture, and it covered prenatal vitamins. So now the 6 weeks are up and I'm about to start stimulation, and I'll of course keep you updated on the progress. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to message me.